October is often about making the impossible happen.
Calhoun follows with a high drive to deep right, and that one is gone. Angels aren't dead yet. Here's Pujols to score in front of the Crone base hit. The next one, too. Giavatello with a base hit back up the middle. Here comes Coward, and the Angels have scored 5 in the ninth to take an 11-10 lead.
At so many points this season, the Angels have been on the brink of extinction. But there's no quit on this roster. They never stop coming. 161 games are in the books. And after one of the most amazing and historic comebacks in franchise history, the Angels have reached game 162 with hopes of forcing a 163rd. On the field against the Rangers. On the scoreboard against the Astros. One more game, one more day, one more shot at October glory. It's been an uphill battle for the Angels for the last couple of weeks, and after losing 2 straight, they've won 2 straight. And now it's game number 162, and it means quite a bit for both ball clubs. We wrap up this 4-game series from Globe Life Park this afternoon here in Texas. The Rangers, a 1-game lead over the Astros. The Astros defeating the Arizona Diamondbacks last night. They will take on the Diamondbacks today, and the Angels remain 1 back of the Astros. We welcome you inside Globe Life Park and back to Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas, and I don't think anybody could have written a script as it unfolded yesterday here in Texas. A 9th inning that eventually caused 5 runs, 7 hits, and the Angels picking up the victory.
Yeah, Victor, that was one for the ages yesterday. And when you think of what this club has done over the last few weeks, 35 one-run wins this season, 35 and 17, which is absolutely outstanding. You expect another one of those close games today. You expect to be able to carry that momentum, but it's all going to be up to Garrett Richards to contain and get that momentum going today. The offense, no doubt in my mind, they're going to have their hands full with Cole Hamels, but they will score some runs, and this is going to be a lot of fun once again today.
Yeah, over the last couple of weeks, it's been exciting, and a lot of it coming with 2 outs. The excitement was there yesterday. They will need some more today in game number 162. We're just about ready for baseball here in Texas. Sit back, relax. Lineups at first pitch when we return. Angels baseball is brought to you by CarMax. Start the
ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Here's a shot up the middle. It's going to drop in for a base hit. That's going to give the Angels the lead. Johnny Giavotella has done it again, his 3rd RBI of the day, and the Angels are up by a score of 11-10 here in the 9th inning.
Sun-drenched afternoon here in Arlington. It is a beautiful day. Temperature in the low 80s and a pretty packed house here at Globe Life Park. The Rangers, after losing the last 2 games, are now putting themselves in a position to perhaps, there's so many variables here, of maybe even losing the Western Division. It's sporting the blue. They've busted out the blue after wearing red this entire weekend. They realize it's the Angels in town. So they've decided to try to change their mojo. The Angels, a game back of the Houston Astros. There's nothing else to be said. The Angels have to win, and then hope, of course, that the Diamondbacks can defeat the Houston Astros so that the Angels can advance at least to play another day on Monday. Let's take a look at Mike Scioscia's lineup for game number 162, and there's really no need to go through it because it's the same lineup that Mike Scioscia has pretty much been running out there for the last couple of weeks. Ibar, Calhoun, Trout, Pujols, Cron, Freese, Victorino in left, Perez and Giavotella rounding out that starting 9. They're facing a veteran left-hander who's been around the block a little bit. A lot of postseason experience. The Rangers went out and got him at the July 31st trade deadline. It's 31-year-old left-hander, native of San Diego. It's Cole Hamels on the mound.
Yeah, great season so far for Texas. 6-1, 12-8 overall this year between the Phillies and the Rangers. My go-to is to be successful against him. Use the middle of the field. He will throw quite a few changeups and balance on all speed between his breaking ball and his changeup, cut fastball. His fastball, 91 to 96. He throws a cut fastball, curveball, changeup, and loves to throw that changeup to right-handed batters. Loves to throw the curve to left-handed batters.
Let's check out the Texas defense. Hamilton to Shields, Chu in the outfield from left to right. Beltre, Andrews, Odor, Moreland from 3rd to 1st. Jimenez behind the plate.
And with that changeup and cut fastball for Hamels, Adrian Beltre is going to be active as usual at 3rd base. He's won 4 Gold Gloves in that position to add his career. Very good. Coming in on the baseball, strong throwing arm from Adrian Beltre.
Well, as far as the playoffs or game 163 are concerned, there's a number of different variables. For the Angels, it's simple. It is you have to win and Houston loses. Then you play game number 163 down in Houston tomorrow. You lose today if you're the Angels, you're done and you're moving on. For Texas, the Astros, and now the Yankees, it's a little bit different. The Yankees haven't won since they picked up their 87th victory. If they lose today and Texas wins and Houston wins, now you all of a sudden get a situation where you got 3 teams at 87 wins. One will decide the West. The other one will decide the 1st and 2nd wild card spots.
Boy, baseball got this thing right here. Everybody's starting at the exact same time. It's going to be a lot of fun watching the scoreboard end this game.
First one this afternoon is a strike. Gary Cedarstrom, the crew chief, calling balls and strikes today. Quinn Walcott at 1st, Lance Barksdale at 2nd, Eric Cooper at 3rd. Hamels doesn't waste a whole lot of time as Ibar slices his foul. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. Hamels 6-1 in 11 starts with Texas. A 3.86 ERA. He's gone 74 and 2/3 innings, 74 hits, 70 strikeouts, and 21 walks. The 0-2 pitch. That's a breaking ball low. 1-2. Eric yesterday 2 for 5 with a home run and an RBI. It was Ibar that started off that 9th inning rally with a home run, followed by Calhoun's home run. And then again, another 2-out rally by this Angels ball club. It's continued to do that all week. Down it in. 2-2.
Those big hits yesterday too, Victor, using that middle part of the field. Didn't try to do too much. Got a bat broken. Ground ball fell in that middle. And then that big hit by Giavotella. What an outstanding month of September into October for Mike Scioscia and this club. What they have done, where they've been, how much fight they have in them.
Hamels ready, the 2-2, and Ibar chops this one to the left side. Beltre plays the short hop, and there's the first down of the game. You mentioned about Major League Baseball getting it right. 14 of the 15 games on the slate today, all starting simultaneously. The only game that started early was Atlanta hosting the Cardinals, 6-0. That game is in the 8th. Everyone else has just started their respective games. So it's not as if we have to wait for the Houston-Arizona game 2 hours from now.
And the only reason why the Atlanta game's going on now is because they have a doubleheader today.
Yep. Cole Calhoun facing Cole Hamels, and Hamels delivers a strike. Cole yesterday 1 for 5 with that home run, his 26th of the year. 83 runs batted in. The average of 257.
And Cole always aggressive. Hitters against Cole Hamels this year on an 0-1 count, and they put the ball in play. 393. That's 33 for 84 with 3 home runs.
On the corner. No balls, 2 strikes. Called strike 3. Delayed call by Gary Cederstrom.
That pitch was off the
2
outside
outs.
corner also. Not known to be a guy that calls a lot of strikes behind the plate. But Cederstrom calls this fastball framed well, but off the plate according to our Fox tracks.
Two outs, nobody on for Mike Trout. 2 for 4 yesterday with a double and an RBI, hitting .298, 41 home runs, 90 runs batted in. Hamels delivers a strike. Both pitchers starting on short rest. Off speed, 0-2.
He said you got to try to hit that ball to the middle or the other way on his changeup. He's very good plus changeup.
Hamels' last start was right here, and that was against the Tigers, and he got knocked around. 6 runs on 7 hits and 6 innings of work. Still stuck around to pick up the W. Trout bounced it foul. And I'd imagine for guys, the emotion, the adrenaline, especially for the starting pitchers, you might get, especially early on, 1, 2, maybe 3 extra miles per hour on that fastball.
Yeah, that's the thing. You hope with Hamels here, he overthrows some pitches, he can square it up. Richards, you know he's going to be in that 95 to 97 range. It's all a matter of the mental aspect today for Richards.
This Rangers crowd already fired up in the first as Trout pulls one to left field. There's a base hit. Hamilton over to cut it off. Trout is going to go to second as Hamilton bobbles the baseball. And Mike was going to try to go to second regardless. It's a 2-out double.
You have to do that. It's great base running for Trout, knowing with 2 outs you want to get into scoring position for Albert Pujols. And as an outfielder with Trout hitting the baseball, you know with that speed you're going to try to be even more aggressive, and he was unable to look that ball into his glove. Josh Hamilton. A nice job of going down and getting that off-speed pitch and driving that into the corner, picking up his 32nd double for Trout in scoring position.
So Pujols so bad with 2 outs on a man in scoring position. Halos yesterday 5 for 10 with men in scoring position. Total of 17 hits. First one to Albert. Breaking ball, and that missed outside. And Albert yesterday 2 for 4. He's had a multi-hit game in the first 3 games of this series. 244, 39 home runs, 93 runs batted in. And he drives one out toward left center field. Hit well. DeShields moving back. He's at the wall. Gone! Big fly for Albert Pujols. The Halos strike early. It's 2-0.
Well, you talk about the machine rising at the right time. And Albert Pujols, not real good numbers against Cole Hamels in his career. Just 174, but he does have 2 home runs. He'll make that 3 home runs against Cole Hamels. And an early lead right here for the Halos. Right down the heart of the plate. Fastball split the plate at the knees and crushed by Pujols, giving him home run number 40 Now 95 RBI on the season for Pujols.
560th of his career, now 3 back of Reggie Jackson for 13th all time as C.J. Cron takes a strike, and again a couple of 2-out hits and runs.
Relentless with 2 outs.
Cron fouls it off.
It's funny, we were talking about that on the pregame show today. What's the key? I said, you just got to rely on your stars. So far, the Angels have done that with Trout, double, 2-run home run. Pujols.
Cron fouls it at the plate.
Hyundai key for this game. A little Arrow Smith. Living on the edge. Well, they've been living on the edge for quite some time. Now the opportunity is to play that game tomorrow in Houston if they win this game today.
Bouncer to the left side. Beltre has it. The inning is over, but Mike Trout with a 2-out double to left, and Pujols picks up his 40th home run to give the Angels the early lead.
What a swing by Pujols. Been here before in these moments in this stadium. Big fly.
First, take a look at Jeff Bannister's lineup for the Texas Rangers. Delino DeShields will lead things off. He's a center. Chu is a right fielder at DH. Beltre at third. He is the cleanup hitter. Mitch Moreland at first. Josh Hamilton at left. Elvis Andrus, the shortstop. Rougned Odor at second. And Chris Jimenez gets a start behind the plate. He will bat ninth as they take on Garrett Richards. 31 starts this year. 15-11. The 15 wins a career high for him. He's got a 3.62 ERA.
So important just to maintain your composure. Is trust your mechanics. See that solid career high as far as innings pitched and wins for Richards this year.
2 balls and no strikes.
That's another good pitch right there. What he has done, my go-tos, his last 7 starts versus Texas, 7-0 in the ERA, 2.11 for Richards.
2 balls and 1 strike on DeShields. Garrett coming off a no decision. Gave up 3 runs, none earned on 2 hits, 6 innings against Oakland on the 30th. That is up and in. 3 balls and a strike to Shields, a .258 hitter with a couple of home runs and 37 runs batted in. Very good speed. And a full count. There's the payoff. And that missed inside, so it's a leadoff walk. Defensively for the Angels this afternoon, Shane Victorino left, Mike Trout at center, Cole Calhoun at right, the infield with David Freese, Eric Ibar, Johnny Giavatello, and C.J. Cron from third to first, Carlos Perez behind the plate.
Mike Trout out in center field. He's already done it with the bat. You just know he's going to do something special in this game with the glove. No errors in his last 158 games. That's 441 total chances. Has a career high as far as outfield assists with 7.
Shin-Soo Choo, the batter. 3 infielders on the right side, and Garrett misses up and away. This is one of those games for both, well, not so much for the Rangers, but really for the Angels, since it's do or die. It's Johnny Holstaff. Everybody, you got to throw everybody in the kitchen sink. Two and 0. And remember talking a little bit about Cole Hallams when he first started with velocity and kind of keeping the emotions in check of such a high-pressured situation.
Yeah, and the big thing, especially when you're going on 3-day rest, he's only done it one other time, and that's after pitching the relief in the game and coming back on 3 days rest. Threw the ball very well. But when I look for Richards, it's in your head, because you're going to hear people saying, well, have you ever done it before? I did that a number of times in my career. I'd love that opportunity to come back on 3-day rest, because you don't feel as strong, but your focus is better.
He's falling behind here. 3 balls and no strikes. They'll check in on DeShields. Choo works the 4-pitch walk, so trouble here in the first. 2 on, nobody out. With Prince Fielder coming up, Mike Butcher is going out, and as I say that, looks like the Arizona Diamondbacks have struck for a run in the bottom of the first. A.J. Pollock, his 20th home run off Lance McCullers.
Yeah, he's had a great season. We've seen him make some great defensive plays. That home run power for him and that speed, very impressive for the Diamondbacks.
A 2-out home run for Pollock. So 1-0 Arizona, leading the Astros in the first. So 2 walks to start the first inning, and trouble brewing with Fielder coming up, the DH. Although the Angels have kept him in check pretty much this series, Gooby. 1 for 13 is what Fielder has done in this series on the year. 305, 23 home runs, and 96 runs batted in.
A dangerous matchup, though, for Richards, and has been that way throughout his career. He's 7 for 17 against Richards, Fielder is. Certainly a guy, if you get a ground ball in an infield, you have a real good chance at a double play.
And again, missing outside. We've talked about some of the command issues that Garrett has had, especially of late. He had 4 walks in his last start. As a matter of fact, he's had 4 walks in each of his last 4 starts. 24 walks over his last 6 starts. Fielder takes a rip at that fastball, fouls it off, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Not the way you want to start things off. With 12 total pitches, 9 out of the zone.
But I know that conversation with Mike Butcher was, okay, you've had some inconsistency in the strike zone, but this 1 pitch, get a ground ball at an infielder, you get 2 outs with it.
2 balls, 1 strike.
And I think what you're seeing right here, that front shoulder is really flying. He's a little bit too quick. As he's landing, the shoulder's already flying open. It's bringing that elbow down, dragging it enough where he's unable to stay on top of the fastball and work that in the middle part of the plate with sink.
Richards ready to. 1 fielder cuts through the high fastball, evens the count at 2-2. Fourth start against the Rangers this year is 3-0 with a 2.18. His previous 3 starts. DeShields at second, Choo at first. This one shot through the hole. It's a base hit. DeShields will come in to score. Choo stops at second, and Richards gives one of those runs back. It's 2-1 Angels. Prince Fielder with his 97th RBI.
Talk about that matchup. Again, it's a fastball upstairs. Garrett is not as effective when his pitches are upstairs, and that was exactly upstairs. He's able to get his arms extended, and with the shift on, going the other way. And he does that very well as far as hitting that ball to left center field on a consistent basis, especially when it's an elevated fastball.
Adrian Beltre, the third baseman. He will look at a strike. Beltre had a 3-for-5 game yesterday with 3 runs batted in. He's hitting .286 on the year with 17 home runs and 80 runs batted in. This one shot to right. Cole moves back on it. Is there? He'll make the catch. Chuba's off the bag, so he could not tag.
Exactly what I was saying. That ball was hit well if he's back, because Cole's going to have to cover some ground to track that line drive down by Beltre. Runs thinking that ball was going to fall in. A mistake on the bases by Chu. We would have been in scoring position at third base instead of being at second. And Cole has a great throwing arm, but he's got to get around that baseball. A little bit more difficult throws. You can see even his balance of his body, it's a more difficult throw. Not a real good decision by Chu to not tag up on that one.
Mitch Moreland, the batter. .278 average with 23 home runs and 84 runs batted in. 3 infielders on the right side against the left-handed batter. Garrett, for the second straight batter, delivers a first pitch strike.
And it's been on a breaking ball. So far under control with his slider.
Good off-speed pitch, and it's no balls and 2 strikes.
So that time he threw a curveball. He's going with the slider and curveball.
Two-one Halos, bottom of the first, 1 out and 2 on. The time is called at the last second.
Still think when the pitcher's in a set position ready to deliver the baseball, that's a time when you don't call timeout. You can't allow that to happen.
Well, especially with the pitcher's looking back to second base. Oh, 2. Foul back. Big rip by Moreland. Halos with 2 in the first, a 2-out double by Trout. 2-run blast by Albert Pujols. Texas answering. Back-to-back walks to start the bottom of the first to DeShields and Chu and Fielder with the RBI single. Oh, 2 again. Downstairs. Nice block by Perez.
When Perez is beginning a ton of playing time, and he's been very special behind the plate. Knowing he's going to get that hard slider in the dirt, did a nice job of keeping that baseball in front of him. He's come through with some clutch hits, but he's been outstanding defensively, including finishing off that game yesterday on the caught stealing.
One, 2. Just off the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Boy, a hush over the crowd here as every time Garrett comes set. There's a loud crowd here this afternoon. Angels needing a victory and some help to force a game 163. 2-2. Moreland fouls this one at the plate.
Judging by the number of pitches thrown already by Garrett in this game, 23 of them, trying to get through this inning with no more damage. It is certainly going to be a bullpen game for Mike Scioscia.
What else is new?
Yeah.
Around here, we call that Sunday.
Yeah, it's called mixing and matching.
It's been that way for some time. 2-2. This low, full count. Josh Hamilton on deck. And they're starting to stand here at Globe Life Park. Texas wins. They win the division. Three-two pitch. Moreland drives one out to center field. Trout racing back, and he will track it down at the warning track. 2 down. Chu tags and heads to third.
What a
terrific
play.
Jump by Trout.
And that's not easy. He's going from the sunshine into the shade to run that ball down. And Moreland, what an at-bat he had, working full count, then finally got a pitch he can drive, and he did so. And Trout, with that speed, tracks it down in front of the wall. So you go from shade to sun. What a play by Trout. And how important was that Chu did not tag up second base? That would have been a run, the tying run, instead to third base now.
First and third, 2 outs, 2-1 Halos here in the first. Hamilton, 253 with 8 home runs, 24 runs batted in, had 2 home runs yesterday. First one from Garrett. Roller foul, and it's no balls and a strike.
Well, just like we anticipated coming into this game. Amazing game already. We're in the first inning.
Chu jockeying down the line at third base, seeing if he can get Richards to flinch. Freeze way off the line at third. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Just missed. 2-1. Victorino shading Hamilton toward the line and left. Trout a little bit toward the alley and left center. 28 pitches thrown by Garrett Richards here in the first inning. Trying to keep it a 1-run lead. 2-1 now. Swing and a miss. Good breaking ball. That's been the pitch that he's been able to throw for strikes and or get hitters to chase. The fastball command has been off, at least to start this game. Garrett is ready. Perez set up inside. 2-2. Now low. So full count. That'll give Fielder a head start from first. Chrome playing behind fielder at first base. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Hamilton, little dribbler foul. Short rest and a long first inning. Not a good combo. But if you leave with the lead, you're all right with that. Another payoff pitch. Hamilton, a swing and a miss. Down he goes. Perez will throw down to first and complete the strikeout. Oh, buckle your seatbelts, Gooey. Yes. That was just the first.
No doubt.
2-1 Halos as we head to the top of the second. Top of the second, Halos up 2-1. Freeze, Victorino, and Perez coming to the plate.
David Freeze does what he does best in those big moments. Another clutch hit yesterday for David Freeze. Loves these moments. In one of those again today.
2 for 4 yesterday, hitting .260 now. 14 home runs and 56 runs batted in.
3 for 9 in his career versus Cole Hamels. Great numbers in his last 29 games, 323.
Hamels getting in trouble in the first inning, giving up the double to Trout with 2 outs, and then the Pujols home run. The last 8 runs that he has allowed, including the 6 obviously with the Tigers in his last start, have all occurred with 2 outs. He's had some issues closing out some innings. And that one underneath the hands, down goes Freeze. Second strikeout for Hamels, 1 down.
And that's that cut fastball he has. 89-mile-an-hour cut fastball. Very difficult to make contact. If you do, you're going to pull that foul.
Victorino at .227 with a home run and 7 RBIs. It was Murphy that got to start out in left field yesterday afternoon, I should say.
Former teammates with Philadelphia.
Chain 1 for 4 in the series. Sac fly. Fouls this one back. 1 ball, 1 strike. This one pulled down the line, and that is a fair ball. Hits off the wall and goes into the corner. Hamilton will go over to pick it up. Victorino to second with a one-out double.
So 2 doubles and a home run early in the game against Cole Hamels for Angels hitters. And when that pitch on the inner half of the plate, that's a changeup. There's quite a few changeups to right-handed batters. 26% of his pitches are changeups to right-handed batters as compared to this little over 16.5 to left-handed batters.
There's Carlos Perez. 2 for 5 game yesterday with a couple of runs batted in, hitting .253, 4 home runs and 21 runs batted in. He lifts this one out to right. Chu moves over, is there. Victorino's tagging, he's coming home. Here comes the throw from Chu, and it's cut off. 2 down and a man at third. It's Johnny Giavotella coming to the plate. By the way, we're talking about scores. Astros trailing the Diamondbacks 1-0. The Tampa Bay Rays just capped off. Well, they're still batting, I should say. It's 6-0 in the bottom of the first against the Yankees. Again, that has wild card implications. If the Yankees lose, they remain at 87 wins. Texas is 87 wins. Houston, right now with a victory, would have 87 wins. The Angels could be in that mix as well, determining that first and second wild card spot. I'm sorry, that scores against Toronto. Toronto's a game back at Kansas City for best overall record in the American League.
They need to win that one and hope that Kansas City loses to get home field advantage.
Yankees are trailing the Orioles 2-1. Just one of any number of scenarios. They put out a pamphlet before the game. Giavotella shoots one out to right. Shin-Soo Choo back a couple of steps, and the Angels are done here in the second. Way to the bottom of the second inning with the Angels leading at 2-1. Second inning, let's go to Arizona. A.J. Pollock against Lance McCullers. That's the first inning home run with 2 outs to give the Diamondbacks a 1-0 lead.
Dead center field. It's a long way out.
Diamondbacks still batting in the bottom of the second. 2 outs. Here's the bottom third of the order for Texas. Garrett settled down, retiring the last three guys, Beltre, Moreland, and Hamilton, to limit the damage to 1 run. Now Sanders takes ball 1. 3 for 4 game yesterday. 258 with 7 home runs and 60 runs batted in. Pulls this one to third. Freeze has it. 1 down.
Big guy to keep off the bases, too.
Angel fans, time for you to tweet us your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag WestDataStrongFan. Just might see yourself in an upcoming Angels broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. 1 out, nobody on, and it's Rougned Odor coming up. Angels second baseman, 2 for 4. Got into a little hot water yesterday on a late slide against Johnny Giavotella. Apologized after the game, but Mike Scioscia certainly wasn't happy about it. Johnny has brushed it off. Swings out to right. Cole puts it away for out number 2. Let's go back and take a look at the slide on the ground ball to Freeze. A bad throw to second base, but the late slide.
Yeah, we're all about old school as far as preventing double plays, but that's a really late slide. He slid past the base, still able to get to that base with his hand, but that's a late slide. Could have been really, really dangerous, even though there was pretty good contact there for Giavotella. He was able to walk it off and end up having a couple of great at-bats after that point, but a dangerous slide.
2 quick outs for Garrett. Here's Jimenez, the catcher. He takes up and in. 253 average with 5 home runs and 14 runs batted in for Jimenez. 36th game. He pulls this one over to third, off the glove of Freeze. Jimenez will reach. See how they rule that one.
They could prep step to be ready for this one-hop line drive, but unable to get it in the glove, off the glove. Fortunate enough to be able to keep it to a single.
A single for Jimenez. There's DeShields, who walked and scored in the first. Garrett a little bit more under control here in the second inning. As it gets away from Perez. Jimenez not going anywhere. It's 0-2 now.
That's a good sharp slider, under control slider for Richards.
Oh, 2. DeShields pulls it foul.
A little bit too much of that strike zone for that breaking ball. On the inner half, it goes down and away. He's going to get a swing and miss. He's got to round that slider.
Shields pulls one to left, and it's a base hit. Up in the zone. So 2 on, 2 outs, and Shin-Soo Choo coming to the plate.
It's another hanging breaking ball. Didn't finish that one off.
Choo worked a walk, I should say, in the first inning. He was stranded at third base when Hamilton struck out. 275 this year, 22 home runs, 82 runs batted in. 2 men on.
Right down the middle of the plate. Upstairs was 96. But Chu, generally a patient hitter, jumped on that fastball. He's been unbelievable in the second half of the season. 343.
Called strike on the inside corner.
Certainly got the inside part of the plate. Two-seam fastball framed well by Carlos Perez. Lower part of the strike zone. Born our Fox Tracks. Another hitter, 0-2.
Downstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. What you were hoping for, especially after getting the first 2, was a quick inning to get out of the second. Thought you had it with that ball hit the phrase, but went off his glove for a single, infield single. Now DeShields, after going 0-2, picked up a single to left.
And an extra, what now, 8 pitches thrown will be.
Down goes Shaw on the off-speed pitch. Second strikeout for Richards. 2 in the books. It's 2-1 Angels.
To up third in this inning, but in the field made an outstanding defensive play with Mitch Moreland with 2 on. Goes from the sunshine to shade back into the sunshine to track down a line drive in the outfield. Outstanding play defensively by Mike Trout in the first inning.
Hamels have the top of their order coming up here in the third inning. Ibar, Calhoun, and Trout to face Cole Hamels. Hamels with 2 strikeouts, no walks, 3 hits allowed. All 3 extra base hits, 2 doubles and a home run. Ibar grounded out to Beltre to lead off the game.
Not a bad idea to force the issue with Cole Hamels on the mound. He's committed 13 errors in his career, 963 fielding percentage as a pitcher. He can move around, especially if you push him onto that right side of the infield.
1 ball, 1 strike. Outfield shallow with Ibar at the plate. Home run that Eric hit yesterday, his 3rd. Called strike. 1-2. pulled down the line, foul. Dribbler to the right side. Odor has to come racing in. A little barehand action. Throws to first and gets it. 1 out.
Going George Springer with a big swing. He's been swinging the bat very well of late for the Astros. Scores Altuve all the way from first base with a double as the Astros tie this one up. Then she caught in a rundown. And another good swing by Springer. Tight game there in Arizona.
Yeah, that was the second out, and then Correa made the outs. The inning is over. Heading to the bottom of the third, tied at 1.
Real nice play by Odor to come in on that baseball with the bare hand to get Ibar first.
Cole takes outside. Struck out looking in the first. Chopper left side. It's Andrews, the shortstop there. 2 down. Crazy to think that a veteran like Cole Hamels been around for such a long time. You look at stats past, just 1 start in his career, 3 days rest.
Consider how many big games they had over the years in Philadelphia, where they won a number of NL East championships, back-to-back World Series in 08-09.
114 and 90 in his career with the Phillies. Trout takes a strike. First round pick in 2002 by Philadelphia. Rancho Bernardo High School, San Diego. Oh, what a Trout. Down and in. Trout hooked a double into left. 32nd double. He scored on the Pujols home run in the first inning.
Look at your 3-4 hitters in your lineup. One with 41 home runs, the next with 40.
First time the Angels have ever had 2 40 home run hitters in the same season. Two one. In the dirt.
Very important here in a 3-1 count hitters. This season, 12 for 20 with 3 home runs against Cole Hamels.
Takes a strike.
And a changeup. Something off speed on that inner half. Danger zone against Mike Trout.
3-2 now. Trout takes the fastball in, and it's a walk. 2-out walk, first issued by Hamels. And it'll bring up Albert. That's what Albert did back in the first inning. His 40th of the season.
Boy, a long way, too. Good balance he had on that one, using that lower half of his body to drive that one out over the 4-0-4 sign.
560th of his career. He stands alone, 14th all time. Reggie Jackson now 3 away. Albert drives one out to center. Playable for DeShields. Got a pitch to drive there. Just got underneath it, and the Angels are done here in the third. To the bottom of the third we go. It's the heart of the order coming up for Texas. And the Angels still up. Closed up 2-1 here in the bottom of the third inning. Hey, fans, with a victory today and a loss by Houston, your Angels could force a one-game tiebreaker for the second American League wild card. With a win in that game, they'll be in the postseason for Angels.com, or visit Angels.com/postseason to get your tickets for potential postseason games at Angel Stadium. It's fielder Beltran and Moreland. The first one misses down and in. Garrett with 2 strikeouts, 2 walks, 3 hits allowed. The Angels striking for 2 in the first. Texas got 1 back at the bottom of the first. That's where we stand right now. Fielder with the RBI single in the first inning, picking up his 97th run batted in, just his second hit of the series.
Good curveball.
Two balls and 2 strikes. That was the 50th pitch thrown by Garrett.
29 strikes, 21 out of the strike zone. Since that first inning, though, a lot more under control for Richards.
Down goes fielder, 1 away.
The number of breaking balls between the slider and curveball goes upstairs at 94 to get a punch out. Pretty good sequence. And upstairs to get a swing and miss.
Adrian Beltre at the plate. He had a fly ball to right field in the first. He's 0 for 1. Lifted out towards center. Trout in a couple of steps. 2 down.
First baseman, Moreland.
Moreland hit a fly ball to center field that was tracked down by Trout in the first inning. So he's 0 for 1. He will take strike 1. Arizona threatening with 2 outs at the bottom of the third. Bases loaded situation. It's Lance McCullers. Game still tied at 1. One ball, 1 strike.
It's a lot of pressure on the youngster out there, McCullers, with the bases loaded in Arizona.
A column at Q last night. 19 wins.
Out of nowhere.
Yep. A 20-game winner and a 19-game winner. That's the Astros 1-2. One or 2. I'd imagine that it's Scott Kazmir. Right? If there is a game 163 tomorrow at Minute Maid.
It seemed like he would be in line for that.
I think Spires goes after him, right?
Yes.
Yeah. One-two pitch. Moreland shoots one up the middle, and Ibar almost makes a nice play, but it gets past him for a 2-out single. But Garrett's still unable to get a 1-2-3 inning. 2 outs, 1 on, and it's Hamilton coming up.
Nice job of staying back in that baseball. Line drive right back up the middle by Moreland against Richards on a fastball. It was a little part of the plate, but down.
Salton and Machia struck out with the bases loaded, so they head to the fourth, tied at 1. Hamilton struck out swinging in the first inning. Takes low. The Angels, as we were just talking about the potential of 163, would more than likely go with Nick Tropiano. Nothing has been written in stone, but the only thing that has been said is Mike Scioscia not interested in moving up Andrew Heaney. 2 balls, no strikes. I think that's more of a product of a youngster that's had an innings total that hasn't been familiar with, and he's been a little shaky of late. Yeah, you don't want to force the issue.
That'd be really tough for him to come back from short rest. Have him in line to win these next 2 games if it's possible. We'll have him ready for the Yankees.
2-0. Hamilton, a swing and a miss. Good off-speed pitch. 2 balls, 1 strike. Not putting the cart ahead of the horse, just trying to talk about the potential of it. A lot of games to be played here. A lot of game, I should say. I mean, if the series has been any indication. 2-1. Caught the corner 2-2.
Backdoor curveball. Richards got some help on this one. A little bit off the outside corner with his curveball, corner fox tracks.
I was calling that earlier for Hamels. Here now the 2-2. Hamilton reaches for it, fouls it off. Halos with 3 hits. Texas now with 4 with Marlins 2-out single. Lays off, full count.
Now with 63 pitches from here, trying to get through the 3rd inning. Elvis Andrews on deck has had some pretty good success against Richards. And be able to finish off Hamilton right here.
Marlins going to take off on this pitch. 3-2 to Hamilton. Fouls this one back. Got a pitch is thrown in that first inning for Garrett. That's why that pitch total is up so high. We're just in the bottom of the 3rd. Hamilton takes a called strike, 3 down he goes. And that'll do it for the Rangers in the 3rd. Ahead of the 4th with the Angels up 2-1.
And the Angels lead this one 2-1. Top of the fourth yesterday. C.J. Cron, part of that dramatic ninth inning ground ball up the middle. Big base hit scoring Albert Pujols, who had himself a nice double. Some great swings using that middle of the field in that ninth inning.
C.J. leading things off here in the fourth inning with the Angels up 2-1. Cron, Freese, Victorino. They face Cole Hamels, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk, 3 hits allowed for the left-hander. Hamels has thrown 45 pitches so far.
Got to go the other way with that changeup. Can't try to pull that pitch. Stay back on that well. That was an elevated changeup.
20 RBIs now against the Rangers. 1 shy of tying Don Baylor and Garrett Anderson for most against one opponent this season. Pulled over to third. Beltre has it. 1 away. So Cron twice has grounded out to Beltre. That's a cut fastball in.
And a good pitch. The drive just pulled off that changeup pitch before. You know you're good when you're an opponent. You go in that visiting ballpark and they boo you as soon as you walk up to the batter's box and David Freese.
Every time. Not his fault. He was just given the opportunity. It's a gift.
Yes.
Takes ball 1. He struck out leading off the second. They've stopped booing Albert.
They will now after the home
3-homer game here in the World Series.
Amazing home run he hit in Game 6 of the World Series. The walk-off variety for Freese, of course, for Game 7.
We will see you tomorrow night.
We hope.
That's what Joe Buck said.
We're hoping too.
Tomorrow afternoon. Right now, the Major League Baseball announced the time for that. That would be a 12:35 Central Time start. 12:35 back home. Freese goes down swinging, 2 outs. High fastball this time.
He's got him out with a couple fastballs. One being a cuff fastball in. This time the fastball upstairs. Both times keeping that fastball in.
Popped up. Victorino on the first pitch. Hackett. And the Angels go down in order here in the fourth. To the bottom of the fourth we go. The Angels up 2-1. Bottom of the fourth, 2-1. Halos on top. Elvis Andrus leading things off for Texas. And he will look at a strike. Bottom third of the order. Andrus, Odor, and Jimenez. Elvis 0 for 1 as he grounded out in the second inning.
That's a good slider. Like that emotion we've seen from Richards so far in this game, knowing the importance of this game.
Called strike 3. Down goes Andrus. 1 out.
And that pitch is right on the outside corner. Fastball. Fastball up, in, slider away, paints a flat fastball away. Great location. 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Brings up Rougned Odor. The Astros had 2 men on and 1 out. Lowry and Castro both struck out. So the game stays tied at 1. That is the bottom of the 4th in Arizona. Scoring in this one all happened in the first. 2-run home run by Albert, his 40th of the year in the first inning. RBI single by Fielder to cut the Angels lead in half. Odor hit a fly ball to right field in his first at bat, so he's 0 for 1. One and 2. Kansas City's leading Minnesota 5-0 in the 4th inning, and Toronto losing 9-0 in the 4th to Tampa Bay. So if that score holds, Kansas City will lock up the best record in the American League in home field advantage, as this one's bounced over to first, and Cron will take it himself. 2 down.
It's funny because Paul Molitor was going to play a lot of the young players for the Twins in the game today. Said, hey, that's, you know, I apologize to Toronto, but I'm going to give my young guys an opportunity to play today. Which was with 73 pitches thrown. He had 32 of them back in the first inning. A tough first inning. First 2 batters walked. But solid since.
Jimenez takes ball 1. Infield base hit for him. In the second, it was a ball that Freese couldn't handle. Good breaking ball. One and 2.
You can just tell how quickly he's staying and trying to throw a baseball now. Comfortable. Feel for his slider, especially. Even command of his fastball for Richards.
That stance, and then even opens up more so. You figure outside is the best spot to get him. Fouls this one back. Kind of steps into the bucket as he takes a stride.
Yeah, most hitters with that open stance are kind of hoping you try to challenge him in because you figure you're going to close up the stance when your baseball is being delivered. That's just the opposite from him. He's looking middle in every time. Susceptible to something away.
Bouncer back up the middle. Garrett has it. And it's a 1-2-3 inning, his first of the ball game. We head to the 5th here in Texas with the Angels up 2-1. EPA estimated 31 highway miles per gallon. This car was made for driving in California. Visit Dodge.com. The Angels lead it 2-1 as we begin the 5th inning. 8-9-1 coming up for the Angels. Perez, Giavotella, and Eric Ibar to face Cole Hamels. Must-win game for the Angels to keep their hopes alive. Astros Diamondbacks tied at 1. That game's at the bottom of the 4th in Phoenix. Perez swung at the first pitch in the second, lifted a fly ball to right field. So Carlos is 0 for 1. The job Carlos has done, especially in the second half. The more playing time that he's gotten, the better he has gotten offensively. He was already solid defensively.
And to shorten up his swing, go with the pitches.
1-1. This one's pulled to left field. Hamilton racing over. 1 out. A bad job of pulling the hands in.
And a cut fastball did a nice job with that. Almost got it over Hamilton's head.
Here's Johnny. Fly ball to right field to end the second. One ball, one strike. Both guys have really settled down. Hamels with the back-to-back 2-out hits in the first, a double and a home run. There's 3 strikeouts overall with 1 walk, 3 hits allowed. The 1-2-3 4th.
Sequence so far, he's going changeup, curveball, changeup to Giavotella. You can see that cut fastball in now. Right back with another changeup.
2 down.
And you try to pull that changeup. Very difficult to make contact. See the hands, hip flying open. Very difficult to make contact against a very good changeup that Cole Hamels has.
Ibar today twice has grounded out. Once a third, once a second. One ball, no strikes. Diamondbacks have taken a 2-1 lead now. As the pitcher Robbie Ray doubled, putting runners at second and third, and McCullers balked in a run. This one's out to shallow center. To Shields is playing shallow. The Angels go down and over. That's 7 in a row retired by Hamels. To the bottom of the 5th we go. 2-1 Halos. Take a look at the balk when Lance McCullers on the mound. And a man at third base, McCullers committed the balk. That brought in the run. That run was actually on base because of an error by McCullers. So an error and a balk by the youngster. Top of the order for Texas. DeShields drops a bunt out in front of the plate. Perez fires over to first, and they got him.
What a play by both Perez and C.J. Cron.
A 1-for-2 game now for DeShields.
How quickly he gets out of his catching position to be able to field this bunt. Not only you have to field the bunt, you have to deal with the bat right in front of you. Focus, push that baseball down, and then a firm throw over the first. And nice job by C.J. Cron with the runner going down the line.
Well, if he's not the 2016 backstop, I don't know who is.
Again, how well he just pushed that baseball down in the grass and then grasped the baseball and fires a perfect throw to the first.
Chu, a walk and a strikeout. It's 0 for 1. 5 strikeouts for Garrett, 2 walks. Those 2 walks happening to the first 2 batters in the first, to Shields and Chu. 82 pitches now.
Pretty solid. 5 punch outs and 4 1/3 for Richards.
Slow roller to the left side. Ibar's going to get there, but they're not going to throw out Chu with the shift on. That's an infield base hit. Good pitch, too, by Garrett, because he really jammed Chu.
It's hit so slow, there's no chance at all for Ibar because of the shift being on. See exactly where Ibar was and where David Freese was. He's placed that very well. Chu for an infield hit.
Prince Fielder, an RBI single in the first, a strikeout in the third. Lifts this one out to the left side of the infield. Freese backing out. It's called off by Ibar, 2 down. Love that quick out.
Garrett would love some quick outs here to get an opportunity to go a little bit deeper into this game. Especially getting the guy who's had success against him. Prince Fielder, now 1 for 3 in this game. 8 for 20 now in his career.
Beltre twice has hit a fly ball out. Once to right, once to center. Chu with 4 stolen bases. He's been caught twice. Beltre shoots one out to right. That one taking Cole back to the wall, and that is gone. An opposite field home run for Adrian Beltre, and the Rangers lead it 3-2.
That slider, hanging slider. He hasn't made many mistakes in this game. He's overthrown some pitches early on, but that slider there stayed right in the middle of the plate, and Beltre stayed back in that well. And in this way this baseball carries in this ballpark, gets out for a 2-run home run.
Well, the Angels have done it with 2 outs. The Rangers have struck with 2 outs. And now are down a run. Here's Mitch Moreland. Moreland takes a strike. The first baseman 1 for 2 with a single in the third. It's not as if the Angels are not familiar with this position, especially of late. Have to battle back. Moreland shoots him foul. 1-2. In the 6th inning, the Angels have Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols due up. The 1-2 pitch. Outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 90th pitch of the afternoon for Gary.
Important to limit this damage right now. Get the batters up at the plate. Keep this as the 1-run deficit for Richards. 91 pitches thrown. Been solid.
Down goes Moreland. The inning is over, but Beltre's 2-run home run is 18th of the season. Puts Texas up 3-2 as we head to the top of the 6th. But 2, 3, and 4 coming up to face Cole Hamels. Want to remind you that this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. Cole Hamels has retired 7 straight since walking Trout back into 3rd. He has 4 strikeouts, 1 walk, and just 3 hits allowed. 2 in the first, 1 in the second. Cole 0 for 2. Struck out looking in the first, grounded out in the third. On the outside corner for a strike.
You can see from Hamels this season, though, when you talk about first pitch to left-handed batters, most times it's going to be a fastball, whether a fastball or cut fastball away.
Breaking ball catches the inside corner. 0-2. Just 63 pitches thrown by Hamels. 45 strikes. Cole goes down swinging on a high fastball, 1 away.
And a Hyundai key for this game and basically for this season, where it's been of late, living on the edge, and the club has responded extremely well, coming back and scoring late. An opportunity here now with Trout at the plate. He's got a double and a walk so far against Hamels.
down and in. Trout will head to first. I wasn't sure if that ball hit him square or if he landed awkwardly when he jumped out of the way of it.
And Rick Smith and Mike Scioscia are going to take a look at it. See where this pitch indeed got him. I think it was more of a situation where he landed trying to avoid that pitch inside, twisted his ankle, looked like.
Yeah. That right ankle. He's on board with a hit by pitch. Mike Scioscia, Rick Smith heading back to the dugout. Albert will bat with 1 out, 1 on.
And we throw him breaking ball right off the top of that toe. And as he tried to move the other foot, that's when he twisted his back foot, the right foot. It hit the toe of his left foot.
Albert takes an off-speed pitch for a strike. He homered. 2-run shot in the first inning. Talking the first pitch in the third and skied one to center. One ball, 1 strike. Albert now 5 for 25 in his career against Hamels with 3 home runs. So good lead for Trout over at first. The 1-1. 1-2.
Room in that right side of the infield. Chu playing extremely deep and right, especially behind the count. Hamels pitches away. This pumps that ball to the right side of the field.
Chopper over to short. Andrews feeds Odor. The relay back. High throw. So Pujols will end up at second. Trout trying to take out Odor, and I think Odor knew it. He knew it was coming. And throws wildly over the head of Mitch Moreland.
And that should be a routine double play, but a mistake made. The flip, and knowing Trout that speed, how he was going to make sure he reminded him he didn't like that play that he did against Giavotella yesterday, the high throw. Not easy to get over Mitch Moreland's head at first base.
No, very good glove man at first.
Get some high fives in that dugout. Remember yesterday that slide in there and Johnny Giavotella with a base hit in center field, but with that hard slide in the second against Giavotella, with that energy because of that play, and that hard slide from Odor.
Tying run now at second, courtesy of the error, and for Odor, that's his 6th error. Here's C.J. Crow, twice has grounded out to Beltran. The first one, that is out towards center, playable for DeShields. The Angels will leave that tying run on base, right to the bottom of the 6th. Texas up 3-2. Trout ran out to center field. Everything's all right with him. A little bit of a scare there as he was hit by a pitch in the 6th inning. The Angels leaving the tying run. On base, Hamilton, Andrus, and Odor here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Garrett back out on the mound. Josh breaks his bat, rolls one to Crone. Like that, 1 pitch, 1 out. Hamilton 0 for 3.
Big to get that quick out for Richards and the Angels. Now 93 pitches thrown, bullpen action, both righty and lefties down in the bullpen for the Halos.
Brings up Elvis Andrus, is 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout. Evan Gattis with the bases loaded delivers as a pinch hitter. Ties the score up at 2.
Baseball certainly got it right here. This last game of the season, so many meaningful games, so many stressful games still to play.
It was a force out for Gattis, pardon me, fielder's choice. For 1st and 3rd, Houston still batting with 2 outs. 2-2 in the 5th. Andrews drops the bunt on 3rd base side, barehanded by Freese. Low throw, Crone digs it out, 2 down.
Again, what an outstanding play by Freese and C.J. Crone. That's not an easy play. That baseball was bunted pretty hard down the 3rd baseline with the bare hand. Freese is able to field that all in one motion to throw. Tricky short hop. Nice play by C.J. Crone. Keeps the foot on the base and scoops that low throw.
Odor 0 for 2 with a fly ball to right and a ground out. Bouncer down the line, foul. "96 pitches thrown by Garrett Richards. A long 1st inning as well because of a couple of walks, some deep counts. Settled down, made the 2-out mistake to Beltre. They're trying to keep it a 1-run deficit here. 1-1. The Angels have Bedrosian and Ramos ready to go in the pen. 2-1.
"98 pitches. Coming back on 3-day rest. He's fought hard in this game, no question.
Givatellum threw out Odor in a solid 6 for Garrett Richards. Now it's the offense trying to figure out Cole Hamels. Head of the 7th. It's 3-2 Texas. Is brought to you by Mercury Insurance, on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast free quote and see how much you can save. And by Hyundai. Great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. Top of the 7th inning, Cole Hamels back out on the mound for Texas, leading at 3-2. And the Angels will have Freese, Victorino, and Perez coming up here to face the left-hander. 5 strikeouts and 1 walk. And 3 hits allowed. We assume that Garrett Richards is done after 6, assuming where the pitch count is at, but you never know. Texas has 9-1-2 due up in the bottom of the 7th. Freese swinging first pitch, rolls it foul. He's 0 for 2. And both times he's gone down swinging on fastballs. One a cut fastball, the other one a fastball up, so I can understand why David jumping on that first pitch off speed.
Yeah, he's trying to stay inside with his fastball consistently.
This one pulled to short. Andrews has it. 1 down. Nick Martinez getting ready. Hamels at 74 pitches. Victorino doubled into the corner in left field in the 2nd inning. Popped down on the first pitch of the 4th.
Change up on the outer part of the plate. You see why the Rangers were happy to pick up Cole Hamels. In these big games, he's been very good throughout his career. Always under control, but very good stuff.
And it wasn't so much about just this year. It was looking ahead to the future. He's got 3 years left on his contract with an option year.
Yeah, when they made that deal, the Rangers weren't even really in that conversation necessarily as far as the postseason. We have him and Darvish as a 1-2 punch with Derek Holland next year.
2-1. 3 balls and a strike. Chain works the walk. Second one issued by Hamels. Fans, season seat deposits for the 2016 season now being accepted. Place your deposit now to receive priority for next season. For more info and to place that deposit, call 888-796-HAIL or just go to angels.com/season seats.
You don't necessarily think that Victorino would try to steal. Cole Hamels has allowed 24 stolen bases in 27 attempts this year. Does have 2 pickoffs, 26 of them in his career. If you guess right, you're going to be successful.
He'll slow leg lift. Carlos Perez twice has hit a fly ball out, once to right, once to left.
He's been very good in his last 13 starts. Batting average nearly 400 for Carlos Perez. People are hollering in the dugout. They thought he did something wrong on that one.
Victorino's arguing with the home first base umpire Quinn Walcott, saying that the foot went past the rubber. Once you do that, you've got to come home. Otherwise, it's a balk. Going 1.
You see right here, if he crosses that pitching rubber with his leg, the front leg, he has to go home. Well, he definitely crossed that rubber. And that's why Victorino was almost picked off.
Carlos shoots it foul, 0-2. Victorino has 7 stolen bases this year. 2 have been with the Angels.
When he has that high leg kick, when he goes home, and that's why Victorino was thinking about going there, but he had to rush back to first. The times of the plate are very slow for Hamels. So you go in that first movement, you're going to be successful.
A little flare, and this one will head into the seats. So it's still a no ball, 2 strike count. Giavotella is on deck. Carlos goes down swinging on the changeup, 2 outs.
Real good off-speed pitch once again. When he has that changeup running down the way, very difficult to make contact if you think in terms of trying to pull it. Well, it's Johnny Giavotella time. 7th inning.
0 for 2 so far today with a fly ball to right and a strikeout. 6 punch outs now for Hamels. Slow breaking ball for a strike. Difference in this one, the Beltre, a 2-run home run in the 5th. Johnny reaching for this one. Andrews to his left, flips it to Odor, and it's stretched out in Texas with the Angels down 3-2. Of the game, tweet us your strongest fan photo to #WestStateOfStrongFan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. Halos trailing 3-2, bottom of the 7th inning. Kobe, Shane Victorino, last half inning.
Yeah, trying to remind Odor that they did not like that play yesterday. Another hard slide at him. He knew exactly when to get out of the way as quick as possible. There's going to be some hard slides down at the rest of this game, but also what we saw yesterday, that hard side, late slide into Johnny Giavotella with the cleats up right in the shin of Giavotella by Odor. Did not go quietly. The Angels, even after that victory yesterday, they were still upset about that hard slide. They will not forget that one for quite a while.
Halos down a run. It's the bottom of the 7th. Jimenez, DeShields, and Chu to face Cam Bedrosian. Are in and out. Who's in, who's out? Bedrosian pitching his 34th game, 1-0 record of 4.86 ERA. 34 strikeouts, 18 walks, and 33 1/3.
Looks like Arizona took the lead against Houston.
Jared Saltalamacchia with a double. 3-2. They hit to the top of the 6th inning. Jimenez 1 for 2. Ahead of the count here, 2 balls and no strikes.
Tell you what, Garrett threw the ball very well on short rest, 3-day rest for Richards. 6 innings, 6 strikeouts. Just the one mistake, that slider that got out over the plate against Beltre. He didn't miss it. The reason why he's been so good last month or 2 months for Beltre. When the mistake is made, he didn't miss it.
Bedrosian did not pitch in yesterday's game. Terrific month of September. 8 games, 6 2/3 innings, 11 strikeouts. And Jimenez pulls one down the line, and this one is foul. Out in front. That pitch on the inner half.
It's a hanging breaking ball.
Full count. Halo's very familiar with 1-run games this year. That is ball 4, so a leadoff walk to start the 7th.
We're back to that game in Arizona. Saltalamacchia against McCullers. Hooks one down in right field. One hops into the stands, driving in. Goldschmidt. Arizona takes the 3-2 lead in Arizona. A close game there, a close game here. If you're a fan of Major League Baseball, you can't get a better day than it is today. Last game of the season, all these games, important games, close games.
Baltimore, by the way, leading New York 7-1. Kansas City still winning. Toronto losing, so Kansas City will. And Toronto scores 12-1 now, raised. So it looks like Kansas City will secure home field throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, even with that offense for Toronto, I don't think they're coming back in that.
No. I highly doubt their big boys are playing right now.
Exactly.
Here's DeShields. A walk, a single, and a put out. Bunt out in front of the plate. Takes strike. Halos needing a victory. Well, loss, and they're out. 1 game back of the Astros coming into play today. Big lead for Jimenez at first. Bunt on the third base side. It's a good one. Miscommunication. Everyone is safe. That'll go as a bunt base hit.
The communication, you have your catcher, you have your pitcher, and your third baseman there. know as a pitcher you try to go after the baseball, but as a third baseman, it's coming in an easier play because he has momentum going and he's used to making those plays.
Bedrosian sees two batters. He walks one and gives up the infield base hit. He will depart here with two men on base. A pitching change in the 7th with the Angels down 3-2. Nobody out, two men on. The Angels needing a victory to keep their hopes alive. A victory by the Halos and a loss by the Astros would force game number 163 in Houston tomorrow afternoon. But the Angels have work to be done here. Cesar Ramos takes over on the mound. He'll be pitching in his 65th game. 2-1 record, a 2.41 ERA. He pitched yesterday. Ended up facing two batters. Walked one, gave up a hit, allowed a run. He's going to face Shin-Soo Choo, with Jimenez, the catcher, standing at second base, to Shields over at first. Choo with a walk, a strikeout, a single, and a run scored. His single was the infield knock in the 5th with the shift on. First pitch in for a strike. The shadows from the light standard now crossing the home plate area. Almost 4:15 local time. One ball, one strike. Back-to-back lefties with Choo at the plate, Fielder on deck. Then you've got Beltre. Well, that pitch bounced about 2 feet in front of the plate.
With a patient hitter, get him to chase many pitches, especially when you're not even that close to the plate.
That's called a spiked breaking ball.
And Choo has rolled into 7 double plays, so he's a guy that can hit into a double play. You got to keep this ball down and get a ground ball at an infielder.
Now the 2-1. 3-1. He walked him. Wanted no part of him, it seemed like. It's kind of a pick your poison. Now you've got to deal with Fielder with the bases loaded and nobody out.
And their best RBI guy this season in Prince Fielder.
And it seems as if Jose Alvarez not available because it's Wesley Wright, the other lefty, getting ready for the Angels.
And Mike Scioscia was asked that earlier today if Jose Alvarez would be available. He's thrown quite a bit, as everyone else has down in that bullpen. He's pretty worn out.
Infield in. Fielder 1 for 3, an RBI single. They're on their feet here in Texas. First one outside. Again, another ball, and it's 1-0. Jimenez standing at third base. He started off this inning with a leadoff walk, something that you don't want to do. You're down by a run. Cannot come in out of the bullpen and walk the number 9 hitter and start a rally. Shields trying to sacrifice, put a perfect bunt down, miscommunications. He got an infield base hit, and now Ramos walking Chu.
Yeah, you had an unbelievable comeback yesterday. You don't want to put yourself in that position again where you have to score multiple runs just to get back in the game.
Right, you're already down
keep it one
with a very good starting pitcher on the mound. Doesn't look like Hamels is going to come out of the game.
But a shaky bullpen, a worn-out bullpen themselves for Texas. Keep it close. You have that late inning magic again. You got to keep it close.
The order coming up. One-0 pitch. Fielder fouls it back. Bedrosian responsible for Jimenez at third and to Shields at second. Shoe belongs to Ramos. Richards today, 6 innings, 3 runs, all earned, 6 hits, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks on short rest. 1-1 pitch. Fielder takes outside, 2-1.
And you're probably sitting at home. Why did Mike Scioscia try to stretch out Richards just a little bit more? But when you think about what he has thrown this inning, coming back from that knee injury the year before, career high, well over 200 innings pitched, it's very difficult to ask that from Richards. He did a great job through 6.
And Caesar's nowhere near the strike zone right now. Just asking for trouble to get behind on Fielder with the bases loaded. Nobody out in the 3-1 count. Here's the 3-1. He chased a pitch up and in. Full count.
Might have got the upper part of the strike zone, a breaking ball. An extremely dangerous spot. Got away with that one.
Payoff on the way. Fielder lifts one, found it out of play. Back to the breaking ball. Figure this would be the last bat of the Ramos faces with Beltre on deck. Moore ready to go in the bullpen.
When RBI producers have a tendency to expand their strike zone in this moment, you can make a very good pitch on the outside part of the plate, maybe even half a baseball off the outside corner. You might be able to get a swing and miss from Fielder.
Another 3-2. Swinging a foul at the plate. Got him to reach for it.
Again, you see an RBI producer can smell those RBIs out there. They have a tendency to expand their swing in their zone.
Another meeting now. Perez, Ibar joining in. The game in Arizona is at the bottom of the 6th inning with the Diamondbacks leading the Astros 3-2. That's the score here with Texas holding the advantage. Payoff again. Fielder fouls it back. This team has had its back up against the wall a number of times over the last couple of weeks. Somehow they have figured out a way to kind of stay alive, make it to the final game of the regular season. Now you need a really big out here in Fielder. And he walks in a run. It's 4-2. 3 walks in the inning. Nobody out. Sosha going out to the mound.
And this pitch well off the outside corner. Couldn't get Fielder to chase that one.
Pitching change. Still nobody out. It's 4-2 Texas now. Base is still loaded. Mike Moore now the third reliever used here in the 7th inning. First 2 did not retire a man. All 4 have reached against Bedrosian and Ramos. Ramos issuing back-to-back walks to the 2 left-handed batters he was charged to get. Now Moore pitching in his 47th game, 4-2 record, a 5.91 ERA, 35 innings, 33 hits, 41 strikeouts and 9 walks. He's been very, very good in the month of September. Had a rough outing yesterday, going a third of an inning, allowing 2 runs on 2 hits. And now he gets to face Adrian Beltre with the bases loaded. Beltre in the 5th inning with 2 outs did this on the slider by Garrett Richards. A 2-run blast that gave Texas a 3-2 lead.
Yeah, Garrett didn't make many mistakes in his 6 very good innings, but that one slider there, the Beltre, a lot of times the hitter will pop that up, but not a hitter that's been as hot for such a long period of time as Beltre has.
Beltre 1 for 3 with that home run. The other 2 times fly ball outs. First pitch inside, 1-0. I do believe that every batter this inning has been ahead of the count at 1-0. In and out of the glove. Evens a count at 1-1.
Good power numbers with the base a little bit. Batting average is 267.
2-1 pitch to Beltran. Big swing, a little dribbler foul.
An even slower changeup at 68. 0 for 5 in his career versus Morin with a strikeout.
Pujols due up 4th in the top of the 8th inning. Two-two pitch. Beltran rips one, frees, gloves it, bobbles it, can't get it out of his glove. 5-2. A terrific play, but just couldn't get the transfer to get the force out at home.
What a play he made on this hot shot by Beltran. Everyone was freezing on this play. One hops, tries to get in position, but cannot get control of the baseball. Very good range. That baseball was by him. Tough play. Tough inning so far for the Halos. 2 infield hits and 3 walks.
Still nobody out. Here's Moreland. He lifts one foul. This one headed toward the seats and out of play. Moreland today 1 for 3. Singled into 3rd. You might have had a chance at a double play if he comes up clean with it, throws it home.
As hard as that baseball was hit, nobody was moving. Everyone was stationary.
Chu at third base, Fielder at second, Beltran at first now. A 1-run deficit has turned into a 3-run deficit. Texas looking for more. Fastball.
Pretty good spot.
Yeah. Caught the strike zone. Throws everybody.
And he hit right there on the inside part of the plate. There's no question that's a strike.
2-1. This one out toward right. Long run for Calhoun toward the foul line. He'll make the catch, tagging, and coming home is Shin-Soo Choo. He will score. It's a sac fly to make it 6-2.
Cole right along that line. Looking to
Didn't
see
know where to throw it.
Yeah. He's got it back in at that point. C.J. Cron. Wanted to see if anybody was going to try to advance an extra base. I don't know if he has a play. Might have had a play at the plate if he got behind that a little bit better, but a tough angle for Cole, who's throwing the ball exceptionally well, with 11 outfield assists this season.
1 out, runners at first and second. Here's Josh Hamilton. Ryan Strasburger takes over as the pinch runner at second for Fielder. Hamilton today 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. 7th man to bat here in the 7th inning. 0-2. This one lined out to right center field. It'll fall down for a hit. Strasburger will score. Beltre on his way to third. And the Rangers continue to expand their lead here in the 7th. They have opened it up. 2-strike base hit. And Hamilton picks up his 25th run batted in. Two runs charged to Pedrosian. 2 runs charged to Ramos. And the air is quickly leaving that bullpen balloon.
He battles so long, so hard, so many innings, so many appearances.
(7-2) Texas. Elvis Andrus the batter with runners at the corners, and he yanks one down the line. That is a fair ball. Beltre will score. Hamilton is going to be waved in. Relay from Ibar's cut off. It is 9-2 Rangers. Andrews with a double, his 34th of the year. Here comes Scioscia. 8 men have come to the plate. The Angels have recorded 1 out. Yet another pitching change with Texas pulling away. Wesley Wright becomes the 4th reliever used here in the 7th. This all started by Cam Bedrosian walking the 9th place hitter. And a bunt for sacrifice by DeShields. Miscommunications led to an infield base hit. Ramos came in to face the 2 left-handed batters, and he walked the 2 guys. That certainly didn't help batters. The last walk was a bases-loaded walk to fielder that extended the lead to 4-2. And from that point forward, Mike Bourne has given up 2 more runs. He got charged with 2 runs, and he's responsible for the base runner standing at second base. That's Elvis Andrus. Rougned Odor's the batter. Odor 0 for 3. The last thing anybody needs to be worried about right now is the guy at second base. 3 walks this inning. And with only 1 out. First pitch, a breaking ball. It's in for a strike. Wright pitching in his 9th game with the Angels. Signed and sent to AAA in August. Didn't go. 1 ball, 1 strike. Reaching for this one, and skies it to Trout. 2 down. Brings up Jimenez, the man who started it off with a walk, and that was Cam Bedrosian who issued that walk. And Sosa now is going to make yet another pitching change. A 1 batter outing. So we'll take another break. 9-2 Texas. And Rasmus takes over on the mound here to try to get this 3rd and final out. It's been a horrific inning for the Angels bullpen. Rangers have batted around here and have scored 6 times. And it's one thing if the inning unfolded with a barrage of hits and extra base hits and perhaps a home run. But the way this inning unfolded with 3 walks and two crucial ones, to me, 2 crucial ones by Cesar Ramos. He's got one job, and that's to get the left-handed batters and to walk them. That kind of opened things up.
Yeah, eventually they're going to get some good swings against you. A couple infield hits go along with the walks that started this entire inning.
Jimenez takes a strike. He started off this inning with a leadoff walk by Cam Bedrosian. He's 1 for 2 tonight, or today I should say. 10 hits for Texas. The Angels have managed just 3, and they haven't had one since the 2nd. Jimenez yanks a foul. You wonder if at this point, although there doesn't seem to be any warming up, thinking maybe Bannister with a 7-run lead would go to the bullpen, but Cole Hamels still a low pitch count, but he's been sitting for a while as well.
I think he wants to go to that bullpen now himself. They've been worn out. A lot of guys a number of games in a row. Didn't work out for him yesterday either.
They've been on their feet for a while here. A very tight, well-pitched game. One mistake by Richards, 3-2 coming into the bottom of the 7th inning. And Texas has certainly opened it up. The Angels, when they come to bat in the 8th, will have Ibar, Calhoun, and Trout due up. Garrett Richards, 6 innings. And Mike Scioscia will get asked after the game, I'm sure, about the decision to go to the bullpen in the 7th as opposed to bringing Richards back out for the 7th. Jimenez goes down swinging, and this inning is finally over. Texas hangs a 6th spot on the Angels. We head to the 8th. It's 9-2 Rangers. Be sure to stick around after the game. The old postmortem. Angels live postgame presented by your SoCal Mazda dealers. Patrick O'Neill and Jose Mota will break it all down for you. I hope, of course, the Angels can mount the rally as they did last night. They scored 5 in the 9th. Good chunk of that happening with 2 outs. See if they can figure out Cole Hamels. They still have a new center fielder, Drew Stubbs, out there. Hamels back out on the mound to face Ibar, Calhoun, and Trout. 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, 3 hits allowed for the lefty. Eric today 0 for 3. .86 pitches now thrown by Hamels.
Yeah, 59 of them strikes. And certain guys just really pitch well in these moments, and Cole Hamels has done it even in a very tough environment, doing that back in Philadelphia for the Phillies.
Houston Astros have tied things up in Arizona at 3. A moot point unless the Angels come back in grand fashion. 0-2 pitch. Missed upstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Off the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Shadow now creeping out toward the mound area. Home plate engulfed in the shade. Full count.
This is the 2nd full count this entire game for Cole Hamels.
Called strike 3. Ibar goes down looking. Crowd number one doesn't like the call by Gary Cederstrom.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit off the outside corner. Not known to be a guy that calls a lot of strikes. More of a hitter's umpire. Calls this one just a little bit off that outside corner.
Cole 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts and a ground out to short. Battle of two starters pitching on short rest. Like I said in the 7th, it'll be interesting to hear Mike Scioscia's decision as to pulling Garrett. Could have been his, could have been Garrett's.
Yeah,
who
you
knows?
just don't know. And plus, we put in perspective how many innings he has thrown this season.
Yeah.
And he's on 3-day rest. It's tough to really stretch somebody out beyond that 99 pitches. Stressful 99 pitch, especially when you throw 32 and you're taxed in the first inning. To go beyond that, you're asking a lot out of a youngster.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Two. Cole goes down swinging for the 3rd time this afternoon. 2 outs.
Hard breaking ball right there for Cole Hamels. He's kicking into another gear here in the 8th inning with 2 punch outs in a row.
Trout takes a strike.
That pitch at 95, his 98th pitch of the game at 95. Free and easy mechanics for Hamels.
Trout today with a double, a walk, and a hit by pitch. So he's 1 for 1. The double is 32nd. One, 2. Trout bounces this one to short. Andrews has it. And the Angels go down in order. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. It's 9-2 Rangers.
Now it's time for the top tier play of the game, brought to you by Arco in the 5th inning. Not many mistakes made this entire game by Garrett Richards. That slided a little bit out over the plate, and a red-hot hitter, Adrian Beltre, didn't miss it. 2-run home run. At that point, giving the Rangers a 3-2 lead, eventually added on 6 runs in the 7th to take a 9-2 lead.
Stubbs will lead things off. He'll be bottled by Chu, and then we'll see Strasburger stays in the game. Remember, he pinch ran for Fielder in the 7th inning. First plate appearance for Stubbs. He took over for Shields. Two balls and a strike on Stubbs. 2 for 20. Wearing the Rangers uniform at 216 with Colorado. Terrific speed. They've used him quite a bit as a defensive replacement for DeShields. It's up the count at 2-2. This one fouled back. Another foul. Fastball from Rasmus. Angels will have their hands full in the 9th. Pujols, Cron, Freeze due up. And not one man playing catch or even stretching in the Rangers bullpen. Called strike 3, 1 away. Texas with a game advantage over the Astros. With a victory, they would clinch the West. A loss by the Angels, and the Astros would clinch the 2nd wild card spot, regardless of what their outcome is in Arizona. Two, 1 for 2. A single, 2 walks, and a strikeout.
Arizona now up in that game against the Astros 5-3. The bottom of the 7th.
One, 2 now. That's upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Joey Gallo's come out to the on-deck circle. He will bat in the DH spot. Full count. The seventh inning unfolded with Bedrosian, Ramos, and Moore all getting charged with 2 runs. Chu goes down swinging for the second out. And here's Gallo, pinch hitting for Fielder. Went around. No balls, 2 strikes. Gallo 206 average in 35 games. The 0-2. A little bit high. Two now. Gallo strikes out swinging, and we head to the 9th with the Angels down 9-2.
Back-to-back home runs by Ibar, Calhoun, and a misplay of a pop-up by Albert Pujols results in a double. And then some quality swings from that point forward. Shattered back by Carlos Perez. Scores Calhoun, and the go-ahead run right there. Johnny Giavotella, 5 runs in the 9th. Take the lead, hold on to win. Did he have it in him again today?
Albert Pujols launches a bomb down the left field line, and that is just foul. What a monster blast for a foul. 0-1. That kind of quieted the crowd just for a second.
Especially if you're in the stands where that was.
Dino's having a look at it downstairs.
Ball was crushed.
Albert 1 for 3 with a home run in the first. Takes inside. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Pujols bounces this one over to Beltre. 1 down. Here's C.J. Crowe. 0 for 3. 2 ground outs and a fly ball to center. Crowe breaks his bat, hits one to Odor. 2 down. Yeah. So the Angels season down to their last out. After struggling through the month of August, battled back in the month of September. A terrific run over the last couple of weeks just to get to this position. And after a remarkable, unprecedented rally in the 9th inning yesterday to keep their hopes alive, the 7th inning happened upon the Angels. Texas broke it open, and now just 1 out away of clinching the West. David Freese takes upstairs.
I'll tell you what, though, the score right here very difficult to think in terms of coming back, but this team, the resilience they've shown in the entire month of September has been amazing to see what these guys put up.
Freese, a bouncer up the middle. Odor's got it, and the Angels drop the final game of the regular season. The final today, 9-2.
And there's a reason why Cole Hamels was brought aboard. They thought maybe get him in a good position for next season, but there's a reason he's won an MVP in the postseason. He is a very good big game pitcher, and he threw the ball exceptionally well. Early lead on the big home run, 2-run home run by Pujols. But too much. Texas, especially in that 7th inning when they scored 6 runs, with a tight game at that point.
It was a very tight game, well-pitched game between Garrett Richards and Cole Hamels. And this is what the postseason picture looks like.
Yeah, especially now the Angels have been eliminated from the wild card possibility. Now you got the Astros and the Yankees taking on each other. And the winner will play the Kansas City Royals as Texas will take on Toronto. What a power that lineups are going to be in that series. In the National League, it's all set up. It's been set up for a while. You're going to have a great wild card game with the Pirates and the Cubs. St. Louis with the best record, and the Dodgers taking on the Mets. You talk about some serious arms pitching in that series. It's going to be a fantastic postseason.
A very tough loss, partner. Another season in the books. We will see you when we see you.
Yes, indeed.
16's right around the corner.
Yes, indeed.
9-2 the final. Stick around. Angels Live postgame is coming up next.